Welcome to another episode from our show, Anything Goes. You may have seen other episodes of this show, but we all get in a point where how much we can bear criticism. What type of criticism is the right criticism? And when do I say enough is enough? Do I get angry? Do I refuse to talk about it? I'm very honored and privileged to have my three daughters and sisters with me here. We have Lydia, Martha, and Marina, and they are all from St. George Church in Brooklyn, New York. And I'll throw the first question. Reasons for a girl like you would say, I can't take this. This criticism is beyond my level. When do you guys say that? When is the criticism becomes harder to accept? Reasons.
Well, I think there's a difference between constructive criticism and criticism that's meant to hurt you. So if I were to hear criticism that I should take as ways to fix a problem I might be going through, or to, maybe I'm doing something wrong and I don't realize it, I would gladly accept criticism like that, because maybe somebody's noticing flaws that I don't notice.
So are you trying to say it depends on who is saying it, not the subject of the criticism?
No, I would say it's more the subject of the criticism and the way they're approaching it.
But Marina, would you agree with that? Yeah. I could be saying the right subject, but I could be a mean person.
Yeah, if you're a mean person and you come off in a mean way where it hurts your feeling, then you might misinterpret that constructive criticism in a way where you take it as though it's something that's hurting you. So you kind of find yourself pushing that person away and you won't accept that criticism. You'll say that's enough. But if it's from someone who's saying the criticism in a way where, in like a nice way, and they're letting you know like, oh, maybe you should fix this politely, then you take that criticism and you use it to help you grow. But if it's in a negative way, even though it could be good criticism, it still won't. It won't help you. It depends on the person and the subject.
Lydia, where do you fit here? What do you agree? What do you don't agree?
I don't agree that it's just the subject. I think to me a big thing is the person. So say for example, like someone is constantly like doesn't really like me. I've heard them say bad things about me. I know that they don't like the way I do things in general, and they come up to me and they tell me I should fix something. I'll feel like you just hate me. That's why you're saying this. But if it's someone that I know loves me, a good friend, someone who's mentoring me, like someone who really cares about me, and they tell me something, I think I could accept anything from them, you know?
So Martha, I meet you and we are friends. I'm a girl, not a boy. And then all of a sudden I tell you, how come your hair look like that? I want you to react to this.
I would say, what does it look like?
It's, haven't you looked in the mirror before you leave?
Well, depending, if I was very good friends with you, I probably wouldn't get upset. I mean, because my friends do give me that criticism on occasion.
No, your hair is beautiful. I have nothing to really comment on your hair. I'm commenting on me, actually. I was hoping you tell me who I am now. What would you characterize me now? Can you pick on what I just said?
I think you're saying so if someone tells you, I don't like the way your hair looks today, it looks ugly, it depends on your self-esteem. So if you have high self-esteem, where if someone tells you your hair looks bad and you go in the mirror and fix it, or if you have low self-esteem and someone tells you your hair looks bad and you get hurt and maybe cry about it.
Okay, so that's excellent. We are getting to a very good point. But let's talk about two issues here. The sender and the receiver. I'm the sender. What type of personality you can put me in? What type of category you can put me in? Who am I to you that I'm saying this? I could be a good friend, as she said, but I could be also different.
I just feel like it's hurtful. Like something like that is unnecessary.
Right.
Like, do you really need to tell me that my hair looks hideous today? Like, I just feel like it's unnecessary. It's not edifying. It's not going to help me grow. It's just being mean.
So sometimes a person who is critical could be jealous, could be mean, could be abusive. So we need to also understand where criticism is coming from. That's why when you said the subject and the speaker, I think that's a very good point. So he may not be as honest and sincere to you, because I could be very jealous because my hair is really hideous and I want to put you down so I can look better. And unfortunately, that happens a lot among the girls. But in the same time, I could be also, I'm trying to hurt you for any other reason, as Lydia said. So, very important, if you have to receive a criticism, find out who is giving the criticism and what is he or she, her background or his background, and why is he saying that. Now, you said something very important, which is, it depends on my self-esteem. Let's talk about that. Now, I happen to like my hair, and my hair is so beautiful, in my own opinion, versus another person who she really looks at the mirror and she always wishes that her hair could be like Jessica's. Tell me, what do you think? The perception of both. You said it, but I want you to elaborate on this. I am who I am, but in one instance, I am looking at the mirror and hating me, and in another time, I'm looking at me and say, I like my hair. Then both of us met this Mr. Mean who said, your hair is hideous. Respond. What's the response? What's happening to me? What I'm going to do? It happens to all of us. What I'm going to do? What I'm going to react? Lydia, you want to pick up from here first?
Okay, so I guess if I felt confident, I would probably analyze the person and their intentions, and I would be like, all right, like I think I'd be able to filter whether what they are saying is true or untrue. But I think if I was not confident, I'd be like, I knew it. I knew that my hair was hideous. I knew that I was ugly. I knew that I was whatever, and I would take that criticism and feel like it validated or it agreed with what I felt about myself and just throw myself more into like that, just like the pity and the being upset and the like taking it really to heart. And I feel like it could even like drive me away from that person or that group of people that makes me feel that way. Like, I think,
Martha?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, somebody who has that low self-esteem would probably be very hurt about it and look at themselves even less than before. Or they would probably go to extremes to, how could I fix myself? How could I make myself a better person? And maybe start comparing themselves to others rather than, looking at how good they
Do
actually
they
are.
really low self-esteem think how do they better themselves?
Well, not necessarily how do I better themselves, but maybe like if I had low self-esteem, somebody told me my hair looked bad, maybe I'd go to the salon and like try to get it fixed or do something radical or extreme to change it.
I have more experience with people who have low self-esteem. They will actually withdraw completely. They will not come on Sunday because their hair was called a bad word. Or not their hair. I mean, there may be physique, there may be personality, whatever. Marina, what says you?
Yeah, especially I feel like with girls, like if you already have low self-esteem and if someone tells you like your hair looks horrible, you won't even want to come out anywhere. Even if it's not with that one group, you don't want to go anywhere because you don't want to be criticized, you don't want people to look down on you, you feel like you can't make friends. So you just keep going downhill from there. I don't think you're going to be trying to better yourself because you feel like you can't.
So we need to help the people who are listening to us now in two directions. The person who is criticizing, we need to send a message to, and the person who is receiving, we need to send another message. So let's talk first about how to criticize right. Anyone?
yeah,
Yes.
you have to do it in love.
You have to do it in love.
I think that like Christ did it the best way. Like in the message to the churches in Revelations, he sandwiches it, and you learned this in college. Like in my college classes, you learn about the sandwich effect, right? They say if you ever want to give criticism to someone, you always, you have your bread and your meat. Your meat is the message you want to get to them. But you got to put bread. You can't have a hamburger without the buns, And Christ in his message to the churches, he always started with, you've done this good, but I have this against you.
Yes.
You know, this is the mistake that you've done. You need to change this. And if you change it, you will be rewarded by XYZ. You know, and I think that's the hamburger. You know, you have to really, you know, tell them something good, then what they need to change about themselves, and then how to really like the reward behind it. So I think that's like the constructive criticism. That's criticism that's helpful. And
Not just constructive, I think you said very important message that if I need to criticize you, then I ought to encourage you first or pick on something positive first and say, but if you would have done this, you would have been perfect. You're already very good, but you need to add this and that's it. You know, I love the way you dressed today, Martha, everything is fine, but if you actually, I don't know about what girls do in their hair, but if you add a little thing in your hair, you would be even a princess today. So number one, encourage and pick on the positive before the negative. Very good. We're still talking about a critical person. What else? What do you want to tell those who are critical? What should they tell us when they want to criticize us? One, pick on my positives before my negatives. And of course, what Lydia added. Any other points?
I think the point Lydia mentioned before of is it really necessary? As somebody who's giving criticism, I think you should evaluate what you're about to say and ask yourself, is it necessary for me to say this to this person? Is it edifying, like Lydia said, or is it just going to hurt them even more?
So the second is the reason why I'm critical. And we need to ask ourselves before we criticize each other, why I'm doing this? Am I helping Marina to better herself? Or I'm jealous of Marina and I want to bring her down? The intention of the criticizing person is as good as the message. And as you said, if my intentions are bad, regardless of what I'm going to say, it's not going to be received in love, as you said.
Well, I think the same applies to as it does to criticism. Like first you would provide that encouragement and then point out the negativity and then go on further with encouragement.
My point is more in depth of the message itself. I mean, okay, at the end I'm going to say something like this. How frank we should be and who is that person should be critical. Because remember, we are here, say 4 of us, and maybe there are 3 other people in the studio. Not all of us could be critical of, I picked on you, I'm not sure why, but all of us should be picking on you. I mean, out of all this room, the only maybe 1 or 2 persons should be critical is the only 2 persons who are friendly with, right? So what I'm trying to say, the frankness is not exactly a true way of saying the message. Because I could be frank, but I could be very blunt. And I could hurt you by my words. Many years ago, Pope Shenouda had a sermon, probably in the 70s, I only read it, about the word do not kill. And one of his points, that you can kill by being blunt. I can hurt to the amount of that you want to vanish. You don't want to be anymore because I was very blunt on you and that hurts you so much to the extent I'm killing that person, that's all. So frankness, bluntness, wisdom, I think that's the word I was hoping to say. And these are the messages to the person who is criticizing. I'm sure we will have a full session on low self-esteem, so I don't want to pick on it too much, but it's definitely a critical person could do everything right, but I still go home and become withdrawn and go and do whatever Japanese something in my hair, and at the end it's not needed. I was looking prettier anyway, but because my low self-esteem resulted in me going that route. So I think it's very important that our words should be in love, not by words, but we really speak in love, not just we speak in words. The words that can come can be like darts, hurting people. If you need to be critical, think first, what is your relation to the person you're criticizing? If you are not a very close friend, refrain from criticism. If you are a very close friend, then speak in love, speak in wisdom, speak after encouragement, and refrain from being blunt. I hope you benefited from this episode of our show, Anything Goes. Until next time, have a blessed time, and thank you.